The world is watching a silent war unfold, one without missiles or tanks, but one that may be draining Russia more effectively than any battlefield assault. A struggle driven not by NATO or Western sanctions, but by two powerful neighbors who understand leverage better than anyone on Earth. China and India have found a way to benefit from Russia's desperation, squeezing its economy while appearing like loyal partners, and Putin seems powerless to stop the slow bleed. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos as we dive deep into how this under-the-radar economic war is reshaping global power dynamics and pushing Moscow into a corner it never expected. The exterior of this geopolitical story looks, on the surface, like a partnership of convenience. Russia, isolated from the West, turns to China and India as economic lifelines. They buy its oil, its gas, its weapons, and its raw materials. They call it cooperation. They call it mutual respect and a new multipolar world. But if you look closely, the paint is cracking. The structure looks strong from a distance, but the outer shell hides a major reality. Moscow no longer has bargaining power. China and India have negotiated discounts so steep they've turned Russia's once powerful energy sector into a bargain basement outlet. The exterior looks stable, but beneath the surface, the foundation is sinking faster than Putin can reinforce it. Inside this geopolitical machine, the interior is far more cramped and suffocating than Russia expected. China and India have essentially built a cockpit where they operate the controls, and Russia sits strapped in with limited options. The interior environment is tight, restrictive, and designed to keep Moscow dependent. India buys Russian oil at some of the cheapest prices on the global market. China pays in yuan instead of dollars, weakening Russia's currency reserves. Russia enters this space believing it's sitting in a luxury cabin of Eastern alliances, but in reality, it's a small, dimly lit interior where the switches and levers are controlled by Beijing and New Delhi, not the Kremlin. The performance of this triangle is where the real story unfolds. China and India have executed one of the most strategic economic maneuvers of the century. They saw Russia cut off from the West, and they accelerated their advantage. India became the largest buyer of discounted Russian crude, refining it and selling it to Europe at full price. China used Russia's weakness to secure long-term energy contracts that heavily favor Beijing. The performance of these two rising giants is near flawless, calculated, and efficient. Meanwhile, Russia's performance is strained, with shrinking revenue margins, expensive logistics, and a war that demands colossal funding. Its economic engine sputters under pressure. It still runs, but the fuel is leaking faster than it can refill. In terms of safety features, China and India have built shields around their interests, ensuring that no matter how unpredictable Russia becomes, they remain insulated. China secures energy at prices it dictates. India diversifies supply chains and avoids direct alignment with any bloc. Both countries keep diplomatic distance so they can pivot instantly if the situation changes. Russia, on the other hand, has minimal safety mechanisms. If China reduces imports, Russia suffers. If India turns to Middle Eastern suppliers, Russia suffers again. Moscow once believed it was too big to be manipulated, but now it's navigating a battlefield where economic safety favors the buyers, not the seller. What truly stands out, its unique selling points, are the strategic moves China and India deploy with precision. China gains influence over Russia's Far East, buying land, real estate, and energy infrastructure. India strengthens its refining industry, turning discounted crude into massive profits. Both countries absorb Russia's vulnerabilities and turn them into opportunities. They sell themselves as friends, but they act like master negotiators, walking away with every advantage. Russia's unique selling point used to be its vast energy reserves and military power. Today, its only USP is desperation, a trait China and India fully understand and capitalize on. When we talk about price, the numbers tell the story better than any analyst. Russia is losing tens of billions in potential revenue because it must sell oil at cut rates. It has become increasingly reliant on the yuan, losing monetary independence. Defense deals that once gave Russia prestige are now bargain arrangements where India and China demand more technology transfers, more discounts, and more customization. The price Russia pays is not only financial, it is geopolitical. Every discounted barrel, every yuan-denominated transaction, every loan from Chinese banks pushes Moscow deeper into a position where it no longer sets the price, but accepts it without negotiation. In the final stretch of this story, the conclusion becomes evident. Russia is bleeding, not from Western sanctions alone, but from the economic chokehold disguised as partnership. China and India are playing a long game, one that ensures their rise while keeping Russia dependent and less capable of projecting power. Putin cannot reverse this shift easily. He cannot force China to pay more. He cannot pressure India to stop taking discounts. He cannot rebuild Western ties overnight. Russia has entered a trap built on necessity, and the exit is getting smaller by the day. Yet this is not the end. The world is entering an era where economic warfare is more effective than military conflict. China and India understand that influence comes from dependency, and Russia has fallen directly into that strategy. You are watching a transformation where two rising powers reshape a former superpower, quietly, without firing a single shot. The consequences will define the future of Asia, Europe, and beyond. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Frontline Report for more deep analyses of global events that shape our world.